When I took on the role as the group managing partner, there were a lot of issues, a lot of new things that I need to implement. There was also a new 5-year plans that we wanted to implement for the firm under my new leadership.
And you're actually also the first Malaysian to become chair of Baker Tilly Asia Pacific region, so that's quite an incredible achievement. How do you think that your unique leadership style played a role in your success and also in elevating you to become a leader in the Asia APAC region? Great to have you here, Andrew. And first of all, congratulations on being named one of the recipients of the Vistage Leadership Award.
Thanks.
Let's start from a very pivotal year for you, which I believe was 2018.
Yeah.
That was the year that you were named Group Managing Partner for Baker Tilly Malaysia, and also the same year that you joined Vistage.
Yes.
Talk to us about that journey so far, and it sounds like it was a very important year. And how has being with Vistage shaped your leadership journey?
When I got the role as the group managing partner for Baker Tilly, I thought I needed, some place or someone to talk to. Leadership at the top, I suppose, can be a lonely place. So it so happens that I met one of my coaches. That time was Dr. Wilson, and he encouraged me to join Vistage so that there's a platform. My experience with Vistage has been great so far. When I took on the role as the group managing partner, there were a lot of issues, a lot of new things that I need to implement. There was also a new 5-year plans that we wanted to implement for the firm under my new leadership. So it was great that I had a group of very experienced CEOs in my group that provided me with information, even some guidance. It's just great to have a group of them to just guide you sometimes when you don't know what to do.
And you're actually also the first Malaysian to become chair of Baker Tilly Asia Pacific region,
Yes.
so that's quite an incredible achievement. How do you think that your unique leadership style played a role in your success and also in elevating you to become a leader in the Asia APAC region?
The first Malaysian actually to be in this role as the APAC regional chairman. And as you know, in APAC, we have countries like Australia, Japan, China. They are much bigger firms than us, and a lot of them, they run much bigger organization than us, and their revenue-wise, they are much bigger as well. So it is really a privilege that I've got chosen by my peers within the community, within the APAC region. So the way I like to do things with the region is also to be more a facilitator, a collaboration type of process whereby we try to get everyone to collaborate more instead of a top-down approach. I suppose being a slightly smaller firms within the region, it helps as well because you can't use the top-down method and just order everyone around. So what I've been doing is a lot of collaboration, a lot of communication, a lot of facilitation as well between network member firms when they have issues and so on. So I've always used that. That's also part of my personal leadership style as well. So I find it worked very well, especially in such a big arena.
Okay. Now I want to turn to a topic of talent because in the business like yours, accountancy, business advisory, consulting, talent is so crucial in your business.
Yes.
How do you attract and retain top talent?
Yeah. So, my HR department is actually called TIM, Talent, Interaction and Memories. So we work on this basis that we look at the talents. We want to make sure that they have interaction within the firm, and we also want them, if they are with us, they have great memories. If they leave us, they also leave with great memories. So one of the things that we do is one of our hashtag program, which you can see in our social media, which is called Best Place to Work. This is the hashtag that we have. And under that hashtag, there's a few things that we look at. One is harmonizing the work environment. So we look at the hardware, software, providing our people with good place, a great place to work, a great place to socialize, and even a place for them to mingle around. and also making sure that all the possible technologies, items are provided to them so that they have a easier way of doing things. We also, the second thing that we do quite strongly is also making sure their personal growth is there. So we provide, so under the harmonizing of their personal growth, we look at into training programs, we look at social club, providing them, with fun activities. And during the peak hours, we have things that are called pit stop. So we, during the peak hours, the peak months, I would say, we have a mid stop, say, we organize fun and games, dinner and stuff like that. And then on top of that, of course, the personal growth part is important as well. So we have a full technical team that helps with the training, provides guidance to them. On top of that, we also have those to help with their emotional side of things, giving them counseling and stuff. So we engage services of counselors, psychiatrists, just as an open avenue for them to speak to. Lastly, what we look at talent is also making sure that they don't work too hard as well, making sure that they go home on time. If they have celebrations that, we force them to take leave, force them to just not come to office. So we look into all these, and we make it a point that even with their birthday, that they shouldn't be in the office. There's an automatic birthday leave that's given. Weddings and even your relatives' weddings, brother, sister, we don't calculate too much about their annual leaves. In fact, we do give them extra days for them to attend. If they have to travel a bit, maybe we give a few more extra days. So we try not to use it, try not to force them to take their annual leave, force them to. Yeah.
Sounds like a great place to work.
So so that's what we are trying to do, and that's the hashtag best place to work. So these few things.
All right. Now, accountancy and business advisory is it's a very fast pace. It's always evolving, especially when it comes to regulatory and compliance issues. In such a fast-paced environment, how do you keep ahead? How do you also lead your team to stay ahead of the curve?
So we believe in training a lot. We actually have a team which we call Quality and Assurance. It's a full technical team led by a partner. So this partner is a qualified accountant, qualified auditor, licensed auditor as well. So she doesn't do any of the client-facing work. So it's all internal. So her client base are the staff within the firm. So it's a full team with about 15 of them. Just looks at the quality of the firm, quality of the work, and all the training programs. And within her department as well, we have a begets Academy, which is also HRDF compliant or HRDF claimable. So we do provide, but instead of providing to outsiders and collecting fees, the program, the academy itself actually concentrate fully on our people.
So this is different, separate from HR?
It's separate from HR. So it's a department on its own. So with 15 of them running the show. Yeah.
Why is it so important for you to set up a team that continuously assessing your internal operations to make things better?
Well, with accounting and business advisory, it evolves very fast. If you look at the world, the standards changes every couple of days. There will be someone that says something and something that happened, and then they will want to come up with new regulations and new standards. So it's hard to keep up on your own. Reading stuff, I mean, sometimes it's easy. We can tell ourselves that we read up, but how much can you read? Especially all these technical details, it does get very boring. So what we want to do also as part of the team, they will go and study it, they'll go and then find the shortest possible way to explain it within, say, 10 minutes or create a note that's less than a page so that everyone can just read on the go and be aware of what's happening. So that's why we spend so much money and so much effort in the quality department.
Is this something unique or is it common in your industry?
I think it's quite common. It's quite common amongst the bigger firms. I think within at least the top 10 firms around the world and even Malaysia, they would have some sort of investment into this. I would say the mid-tier firms would have the same thing, but maybe the investment may not be as much. But we pride ourselves in investing every year on this. So we have 15 technical, quality accountants, and these are all senior staff. And they don't come cheap. So.
Okay, but all this of course is to grow the company further, and Baker Tilly I know is already one of the leading firms, accountancy and business advisory firms in Malaysia. So my question to you is, what's next then? What is your dream? Where do you hope to bring Baker Tilly Malaysia?
Well, that's a very good question. One of the aim that we have is we want to be the number one mid-tier firm in Malaysia. So in our industry, besides the big four, you've got the big four in our industry. We are hoping to be the number 5 here in Malaysia. Personally, I also have aspiration to help guide the Baker Tilly APAC region, to within the top 6. Within the region as well. So we want to be up there. We've grown from a very small firm, from a staff of 200 to now about 900 people in the office, and I think we are very close. Currently, we are probably the 6th largest in Malaysia, under the survey by the International Accounting Bulletin. So we are working towards being number 5. And I think it's achievable. Hopefully within the next 2 years or so, we can be there.
All right. Wow. Okay. So in your industry, of course, the human touch is so important, right? I guess that's why you have 900 people working with you. But how do you see the rise of technologies like AI, Gen AI, big data, machine learning disrupting your industry, or is it already disrupting your industry?
No, we embrace technology. In fact, so even before COVID, one of the things that we embraced Microsoft 365 and Teams and all those. So we were already embracing technology even before COVID. So one of the very proud moments that we had was when COVID did hit us, when we were all locked down in the house. We had no issue with
You were ready.
We were all ready, and it was just by chance that we had all this. With the young people nowadays, if you don't have technology within the firm, they won't work for you. The young people nowadays, they don't want to do the boring number crunching. They don't want to be data entry. They want all those to be already done, already automated, and it's done. They want to be the one that makes decision with you, come and discuss with you. Hey, is this possible? That's possible. So they want to use their brains in a way where they feel that they're contributing. And if you don't have technology and you don't use tools, then they just end up being data entry people, and that's not what they want. And if you do that, you'll never be able to keep them for long. I think in the older days, most people will at least stay 3 years because they want to get qualified to be an accountant. Nowadays, the young people, if they don't like you, they'll leave just like that. Within a month or so. So these are the things that helps in retaining the staff as well.
Well, speaking about the industry and all that, I do wonder if there's one thing that you would like to change in the accountancy industry and business advisory, what would it be? How do you think it could be better?
I think it's hard to really pick something to say that the accounting world can do better. The accounting world has been evolving. I think, from when people started to record things down in terms of the numbers, until now, we are in a very different world now. We used to have historical cost accounting. Now we have things that's called fair value accounting, where you have to value, every year and stuff like that. If there's one thing that I could change, probably a bit the perception given by the world of accountants. A lot of times whenever there's a crisis within a company, accountant seems to be the first one to be blamed. And I feel that that's the wrong perception. If there was fraud by the company, the fraud was done by the directors or someone with power, right? someone with power or someone with authority to sign checks and things like that. And for the accountants to come at the end of a year, you cannot expect them to be able to find everything. So if there's one thing that I would want to change is the perception that accountants, whilst we try to audit and we try to find things and make sure that it is the accounts present a fair view, but still you need to be fair to us as well. So that's something.
So you mentioned the word crisis earlier, so I want to pick up on that. We've talked about industry. On a more personal level, have you been through any crisis in your career? Have you been through like really tough times and you felt like giving up?
Not to that extent. They are always crises. In our line of business, we do get lawsuits. I won't say often, but we do get lawsuits. We do get investigated for whatever reasons. And in Malaysia, if you are involved with, if you did work for certain companies, you may have, MACC coming to your office. You have tax people coming to your office. So I wouldn't say that the crisis to the extent I want to give up, but there are times when you go home and you say, why am I doing this? Then you sleep over it, and the next day you go back.
So how do you pull yourself out of negativity, just feeling down? How do you rise above that?
So one thing that is, I think, as with all advisors or accountants, even and more particularly our firm, we believe in the investment that we made in our quality assurance team. We believe in the technology that we invested. With that behind my mind, and a lot of times when there's crisis, we believe that we didn't do anything wrong. If there was anything wrong, someone would have picked it up. And it is by that I sleep a bit better. And I feel that with my quality team and so on, it really helps giving you the comfort that our people are doing what is necessary.
Okay. So let's say for someone looking or aspiring to be on the same career path as you and one day become a group managing partner, what advice would you give to them?
One thing is you have to persevere. I suppose you can't, if you want to be the boss, you can't act as a boss.
What does that mean?
So I always believe in I believe in the principle of servant leadership.
Okay.
So helping everyone to achieve what they want to do, and I believe that in this days and age, this is what you need to do to rise to the top. You need to help everyone to grow. You need to help people to grow to position. You need to make sure that they achieve what they want to achieve. Because with that, then you can achieve to a higher height. Because if they don't achieve, you don't get the revenue for the firm, you won't be up there anyway. So that's why with the servant leadership principle, I always tell the young people who aspire, when you want to be the boss, you can't be the boss. You can't act like the boss all the time and boss people around. If you want to be the boss, you have to be the one that's helping the most junior of your staff.
But you being the boss, let's say when you face problems or when you're trying to navigate difficulties, who do you turn to for advice? Who do you turn to?
That's why we have Vistage. And that's why we are here, right? Vistage has been great. The group that I'm with, I've been with them for close to 5 years. We have swapped, there was a merger with 2 teams prior. Some has left, some still remain. So within the group itself, I made very good friends, the 14 or 15 of us, very good friends. We travel together, we play golf together, we attend meetings every month. So these are the people that I trust as well. So maybe I don't bring some of the things during the Vistage meeting, but there are a few people that I know that I can just call, have a couple of wine, and then and just run through ideas with them. And whether they understand me or whether they know the industry is a different story. But sometimes running ideas, they may have ideas that is outside of what I'm seeing and what I'm thinking about, something that is really outside the box. And you a lot of this kind of session, after a few wines, it probably opens up your mind a bit more as well.
Usually after a few wines.
And you realize that, why didn't I look at it that way? So this my Vistage Group VC 40 has been a great inspiration and good friends to me.
Oh, wonderful. Now, for this show, we have a practice where we ask the person that appeared before you to propose a question to the next person that comes on the show. So, the previous CEO, Vistage CEO that came on the show was Mr. Lee Tiong-do of iCam Solution. It's a water management company. So, he has this question for you. How do you plan to make your business sustainable for the future? Now, he did not say sustainable in what terms, but you interpret it. How do you view sustainability, and how do you plan to ensure that your business is sustainable?
Yeah. So sustainability to us in terms of a professional service firm, I think is leaving behind a company that is easy for the second or the person after me to pick up. So I believe what we are doing now is working towards that as well, in terms of our investment into technology, our investment into our quality team, even our investment into our people. The few things I mentioned before, on being the best place to work. So these are all the things that I'm using to create a firm whereby when I leave, the person that takes over, it will be much easier on them. They won't have to deal with leadership changes and stuff like that. So I think sustainability now in that sense, that's what I'm hoping.
Is that something you're thinking about already, succession planning and?
Yes. Yeah. So succession planning is a very important thing. Yeah. Okay. With our type of organization, we have age group, from 35 to 60, 65. So even if it's not for myself, there's also succession planning that we need to think for the other departments, some of the older partners and so on. But I am thinking, for myself as well. So there's sort of like a 5-year plan that I'm looking to it.
So what is your personal legacy then? What do you hope to leave behind?
When I took over as the group managing partner here, one of the biggest change that we did was we came out with the concept of you come in with nothing and go out with nothing. In the old traditional firms, partners need to buy into the partnership. Yeah. They need to pay the old partners off and buy their shares. So we got rid of that concept. So new partners, they just come in and then they just earn during their time. So once they decide to retire or once they decide to leave, that's it. So no one needs to buy anyone off.
Okay.
Of course, there is some retirement benefits that we have, like some token amount.
What's the rationale behind this decision?
Because the younger people will not be able to afford to buy into a big accounting firms. When you're smaller, it's okay. When you are, say, a 20 million firm, maybe 10% is 2 million, so it's still achievable, right? But when you are a 150 million firm, like we are, 10% is 15 million. If they have 15 million, they'll buy a house, they'll buy a car. They'll probably retire. They probably won't work anymore, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So they won't be able to afford it. They won't be able to afford it.
All right. So Andrew, one last question for you. What is that one question that you would like to ask the next Vistage CEO or leader that comes on the show?
Who is your trusted accounting and business advisor?
That's a good one. All right. Thank you so much, Andrew. Great to have you on the show, and best of luck with what you're doing with Baker Tea Malaysia.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.